NRI series. Today, we are going to discuss the requirements of starting to invest in India.
Right.
So, let's start with the basics. What are the mandatory requirements to begin investing in India for mutual funds?
Yes, that's a very important question because all NRIs need to be compliant. There is something known as the anti-money laundering law in India. So under that law, there are few legal requirements that need to be fulfilled for any person who wants to invest in the Indian stock market. So the first and the foremost requirement is you should have a PAN card, which is the permanent account number for the income tax purpose. So there are many NRIs who might have migrated to other economies outside India and they don't have an Aadhaar card because Aadhaar card came later, but PAN was there since the beginning. So if your status on the NRI website is NRI, so or RI, that has to be checked based on your PAN card. First, you need a PAN card. If you don't have a Aadhaar, there could be possibility that you don't have a Aadhaar. In that case, the status on the income tax site should be NRI. If it is RI by chance, there are few cases that we have seen that people have migrated to the other country and they don't have Aadhaar card, but their status still shows as a resident Indian on the website of income tax. In that case, Aadhaar compliance is required. Now you don't have Aadhaar card and the Aadhaar compliance is required. What do? So you have to change the status on the income tax website. There is an online procedure as well as an offline procedure by which you can make it NRI. Once you set the status to NRI, the requirement of Aadhaar will go away, but PAN will always remain. So this is the first thing. Second, you need to have a NRI account in any of the banks in India. It could be a NRE account, it could be a NRO account, doesn't matter. It depends on what you want to do with the money ultimately. But it's mandatory to have a bank account in India in some bank. There are few banks which will open the account without you coming to India. So there are few banks who will help you to open the account online. You be in your country wherever you are staying right now. And from India, they can operate and open an account for you. So these are the two main requisites. And then you will have to open an investment account with the broker of your choice. And then you can start getting the investments done through that broker. There are few more requirements, like if you are from the US and Canada region, then you cannot invest in every single fund. There are limitations on which funds you can invest in the mutual fund domain. So there is a list of funds that are available in which you can invest and you cannot access all the funds. But for other regions like Europe, Australia, New Zealand, there is no such restriction. Most of the funds are available for NRIs in these countries. So these are the basic requirements that any NRI should start with.
So, for NRIs investing in Indian mutual funds, what are the taxes that are applicable and how does repatriation work?
There is no different taxation for RI and NRI. Fortunately, the tax structure is same. There are two types of taxes that are applicable in mutual funds. First, let me give you an idea of how the FD works so that you can do a comparison. When you do a FD in India, typically you earn an interest on the FD. It could be anything 6-7%, whatever. But even if you don't withdraw the interest, whatever interest is accumulated, you are taxed on that. That gets added to your annual income and then you are taxed according to your tax bracket. But in mutual fund, it doesn't work this way. In mutual fund, when you withdraw the money, only then you are taxed. So however much profit you make, you will not be taxed unless you withdraw the money. So now there are two types of taxations that happen in mutual funds. One is called the short-term capital gains tax. What it means is if you invest today and you remove the money, the investment within a period of 1 year or 365 days, before that you remove the money, and if you have made a profit on that investment, then whatever profit you have made, it will be taxed at 20%. So suppose you invest a lakh of rupees, you make a profit of say 50,000, then 20% tax would be levied on the 50% thing. That is called the short-term capital gains tax. Plus, there would be some exit load that will be given by the fund house or the asset management company. Now, why this is their exit load? It is to discourage people from taking out the money before time. Just like when you prematurely withdraw FD, there is a penalty. Here, this is the kind of penalty. So this is the first tax, short-term capital gains tax. And if you remove the money after 1 year of investment, then whatever profit you have made, first 1.25 lakhs of the profit is tax free. So there is no tax on the first 1.25 lakhs. And after that, whatever profit is there, that will be taxed at 12.5%. So this is the taxation, short-term capital gains and long-term capital gains. Now, this is the same for the Indians, resident Indians, as well as the NRIs and OCIs and everybody. The only difference here is for the NRIs and OCIs, there is a tax deduction at source. So when you book the profit, the tax would be deducted at source and the rest of the money will be paid to you. And the second requirement that happens immediately after this is, if you do a profit booking, if you invest in India, do a profit booking, in that particular year, you have to file the income tax return with one of the CAs in India. That is mandatory because in that year, the money has ended up in your NRE or NRO bank account. So that is going to happen. Now, repatriation is slightly complicated. It depends on a lot of treaties that the government of India has done with different governments across the world. I'm not a tax expert, to be honest. So I have a firm which will handle this taxation queries for me. So I'm going to share the strategic partner in my description. So whoever wants any help of that nature, you can get in touch with them because they are the experts in the taxation domain and I will let them handle their job. I will not go into the taxation domain, but this is how the taxation is there. As far as the reports for taxation is concerned, I am for my investors, I provide all the reports of how the profit booking is done, what are the kind of all the tax calculations that I will provide. And the tax treatment, the income tax return filing and all that stuff will be handled by the tax experts. So this is how the taxation works in India.
That's good. So now there's a sensitive situation in the world with war in Russia and Middle East. So what is the impact of this war on stock market and how investors should deal with it, do you think?
Yes, very important question. I'm surprised that everybody is worried about this. Every time there is some uncertainty and these questions keep coming to me as well. There is going to be an impact in the short term because Russia is involved for a long time. And recently there is a tension in Middle East and oil is reacting to it, gold is reacting and all that stuff is going to happen, right? So short term, yes, the market may correct. It is already correcting in India for last week or so. So this is going to happen. And there are 2 or 3 ways people deal with this. First thing is, I would say the majority of the people, they predict that now something is going to go wrong and they should not be a party to that, so they will exit. So these are the people, investors who are emotionally driven. They don't have a proper advisor. So whenever there has been such a uncertainty in the market, like in the recent past, the immediate event was COVID. So that is the time when most people exited because of panic and we had a big cut in the market, almost 40% the market fell. So this panic is already setting in slowly in the Indian markets right now. So one way to deal with this with emotion, oh, this is the end of the world now. There is going to be World War III. Already you can see social media filled with all the predictions. So if these influencers already knew and if they are so influential that they can predict a World War III, they should be prime minister of some country and not sitting on YouTube and Instagram, I think. So you can never predict what is going to happen, first thing. So don't get into the prediction stuff. The second way to react is do nothing. Just sit there, watch, because anyways, whatever you do, whether you exit the market, whether you stay invested, whether you do anything, the market doesn't care. Neither does Israel care, neither does Iran care, neither does Russia care of what actions you are taking. So these situations are basically out of your control. So you don't have to think, you don't have to engage mentally and physically. That is a good strategy. Maybe 2 or 3% of the people lie in this domain where they don't do anything. They just sit and watch, because you cannot anyways time how this event is going to pan out and when you will enter and when you will exit, and all that will always remain. The third thing is very important. The third response is taken by 1% of the people. I will tell you what to do. Suppose, Mansi, you went for shopping. There is a mall near your home and there is a sale. They are giving you a 50% off. What would be your reaction if there was a function happening at your place? You wanted to buy some clothes. So, and there is a sale going on in the mall. What would you do? you will naturally shop more. So if you had
Yeah.
a planning to buy a dress, you will buy two because something which was available for say $100 yesterday is now available for $50. So this is what we do when there is a normal sale in our life. We buy more. But when same sale is there in the stock market, people sell their own clothes in the stock market. That is, they will sell all their investments because of the panic. Now, this is completely erratic behavior. So a sale in the mall is for a buying opportunity, and a sale in the stock market is a selling threat. It is perceived as a threat to the investment. So most people will not engage in buying, although philosophically they know that buy low and sell high, all that stuff, Warren Buffett philosophy, everybody knows. But when it comes to taking action, the fear will control their mind and they are not going to take action of buying. Now, why don't they take, or what is needed for you to buy in the correction? Three things are needed. First thing, you need money. You should have cash at that time sitting on that extra amount which you can push in the market at the lower rates, right? Second thing is you should have courage. Most people are in the grip of fear, so they won't have the daring to go in the market and buy when everybody is saying sell, sell, sell. There is all panic. Iran is gone, Israel is gone, we are heading for third world war. Now they are talking of nuclear weapons, this, that, all that commotion, and too much of information is in the air, so you cannot act logically and rationally. So you should have courage. And third most important thing is you should have conviction that whatever I am doing today is going to result into a better future. It is going to give me profit. Maybe it will take 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 years, I don't know, but this will happen. This conviction most of us don't have, and that is the reason why most people lose money when there is a stock market fall. So I have been investing for last 19 years. I have seen the biggest fall in 2007-8. That is the time I invested. I did not have much money at that time, so I took loans to invest. I'm not going to recommend any investor to do that, but I did that in real life. And during the COVID, I was having some surplus cash which I pushed in the market, and I'm now almost tripled my money in last 3 years. All this is because I bought during the sale in the stock market. So three responses: get emotionally driven, exit the market like there is no tomorrow. Second response is do nothing, and third response is go for shopping, go on a shopping spree like there is no tomorrow. So these are three responses. Now, it all depends on the investor mindset. And my job as an advisor is to create the mindset in the third category, the people who go for shopping when there is a problem in, because this particular problem that we are talking of is not related to India. There's nothing wrong in the Indian economy. Yesterday, I will tell you what is happening in the backdrop of this war and everything. There was a car launched yesterday in India. So it's called Mahindra Thar Rocks. That was the car that was launched yesterday. And there were 1.76 lakh bookings in the first 1 hour. And the average price of this car is between, the minimum price is 13 lakhs and the maximum is 22 lakhs. Now, if you just multiply 1.76 lakhs by the lowest model 13 lakhs, you can see what amount of money the Indians have in their pockets. So now, the moment Mahindra opened this booking, in 1 hour, they did not. This is probably the highest booking ever done in any car in India. So this is India right now. So forget what is happening in the world. In India, there is a huge amount of consumption. People are sitting on loads of money and they are consuming. They are buying cars, they are buying mobiles, they are buying houses, everything. So this is the long-term story. And the short-term story is this disruption. So have conviction, believe in the long-term story. The next 10, 15 years are the best time for you to invest in India, because the Indian economy is like an economic time bomb. It's just booming. So take advantage of that. Don't get engrossed in some story that whatever happened in some corner of the world. The Indians, if you ask me the mindset of the current Indians, they don't care what happens in the Middle East, to be very honest. I have so many investors with me, they don't even worry about these things. There might be worry in the other countries that Europe is worried that Russia will do something here and there. But Indians are in a full state of mind. They are just worried about their own lives and the growth of this country. So now 3 responses I have told you. Which response to take, you decide for yourself. The best response is, of course, taken by less than 1% of the people who go out for shopping during the bad times. So impact, to answer your question in one word, one line, the impact is going to be there for sure. It is going to be short term, and it should be viewed as an opportunity rather than a threat.
Okay.
Yes. So anything else?
No, I think that should be all for today's series.
Okay. Thank you. Thank
Thank you
you.
for
And
your time.
Mansi, I sincerely hope that our viewers have watched our first session on this. Now we have just completed the second session, and I hope that the viewers are getting their value for time and information. So if you want any more information, if you want to invest in India, you want to know more about the topics that we are discussing, we are going to give you the inquiry form in the description of this video. You can just go there and fill the form, and we will get back to you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the time, and thank you for watching this video.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Okay.